The movie opens with the continuation of Riko, Reg, and Nanachi's journey to the bottom of the abyss. From Nanachi's hideout, the group sets out for the Field of Eternal Fortunes. Riko is excited to see the flowers, and she calls out to Reg, who has sensed something approaching them. Reg notices several things collapse at the foot of the hill. As he goes to check the situation and find out more, Nanachi looks over the field. Soon, Nanachi recognizes they come across one of Bondrewd's Umbra hands there. When Reg asks questions, Umbra Hand's member tells him to be quiet. Umbra Hand's member asks him to follow him. Riko finds a strange-looking bug and identifies it as Amaranthine Deceptor. It inserts its larvae, which feed on humans, and there is no way to save them. Following a brief exchange, the Umbra Hand informs them that Bondrewd is waiting for them and that the field is going to be burned down because of the infestation. The Deceptors swarm and attack the group as the burning begins, but the group escapes unharmed. Riko is sad as her mother's favorite flowers are burned to ashes. Nanachi realizes that not only he wasn't being watched, but Riko and Rei too. The group reaches the 5th layer called the Sea of Corpses, also where Edo Front is situated, which is Bondrewd's base. Nanachi explains the 5th, 6th, and last part of the journey. Reg dives into the water and finds a Hamashirama, a strange-looking fish-like creature. Nanachi is reluctant to try the food, but seeing Riko and Reg's reaction made him try the food. To Nanachi's surprise, the fish was delicious. The group approaches Edo Front's gate, while Nanachi suggests not speaking carelessly. When a young girl named Prushka arrives at the gate to receive them, she asks if they are her father's guests. Prushka talks to them casually, which takes the group by surprise. A short while later, Bondrewd shows up, welcomes the group, and congratulates Nanachi on finally being free. He informs them that they require a unique white whistle in order to enter the 6th layer. He extends an invitation for them to stay the night, and Prushka shows them around the base. Prushka asks them about various things, such as what dawn looks like. After listening to Prushka, Nanachi realizes that Bondrewd already had a daughter when he conducted his terrible experiments. At night, Bondrewd and Nanachi meet as they both have something to discuss. When Riko wakes up, she finds both Reg and Nanachi gone. Riko searches for the bathroom and nearly contracts the curse while attempting to climb a staircase, but Prushka intervenes to save her. Afterward, the two of them socialize and become friends. Prushka also introduces Riko to her pet Menya. Nanachi goes in search of Bondrewd to question him regarding Prushka. He doesn't believe Bondrewd is capable of making a family and claims Prushka is not his real offspring. After a brief discussion, Bondrewd asks Nanachi to serve as his assistant once more. Nanachi agrees, but only if Riko and Reg can advance safely into the 6th layer. Bondrewd is unable to accept this because Reg is an existence he wants to investigate. Reg was actually abducted and was being experimented on. They start by amputating his arm and studying his liquid. When Umbra's hands were amputated, they wanted to look inside his organs when Nanachi finds him. Prushka and Riko arrive on the scene shortly after that. They watch in shock as Reg is subjected to an experiment by the Umbra hands after having his arm amputated. When Prushka commands the Umbra hands to stop mistreating her father's visitors, they reply that she is not permitted in this area. The group escapes to a boat while Prushka apologizes for such treatment. Prushka is the only one who stays behind because she needs to persuade Bondrewd to give Reg's arm back. Riko sobs inconsolably as she talks about Reg's suffering at the hands of the Umbra. Reg, who is unconscious due to his injuries, claims he can smell the burned portions of Netherworld stew. A trap for Bondrewd is set up by the group using this information, along with other cues such as Riko's deductions from her mother's notes that suggest they are close to a stingerhead nest. Bondrewd and his Umbra hands confront Reg. Bondrewd and his Umbra hands find Nanachi and Reg once more. However, the trio has tricked them into falling for the trap, and as a result, they are attacked by a swarm of stingerheads. With his spare most, only Bondrewd manages to escape the attack. Bondrewd asks Nanachi and Reg to not hide any longer. As Prushka watches from far away, Nanachi and Reg start attacking Bondrewd. Riko was remembering her conversation with Prushka and insists that they don't give up on their mission. Just because Bondrewd is somewhat immortal, Nanachi reminds that no matter how they kill Bondrewd, he will just change the mask and have another body. This brings the trio's attention at to become Bondrewd. All he had to do was change the mask. Riko speculates that Bondrewd might be transferring some of his consciousness using the artifact Soholic. Together with Reg, they come up with a plan. They split up with Reg sneaking in while Nanachi and Riko walk right into the Edo front. Reg enters what Nanachi refers to as the processing room and turns off the electricity. Reg consumes the power from the wires and goes out of control. Riko and Nanachi are led to the processing room by Mania. Nanachi explains what the processing room is for and how he made other kids suffer. Bondrewd finds them in the room. Soon after, Bondrewd appears and once more invites Nanachi to join him. Riko requests Bondrewd to release Prushka. Riko is informed the whistles are made from life-reverberating stones. The main material to create such stones are real human beings. Bondrewd sacrificed himself to create his white whistle. Nanachi makes the conversation short by blowing up the room while safely getting away with Riko. However, Bondrewd is not harmed, and he is about to attack Riko and Nanachi. Reg, who has consumed the power plant's reserves and becomes out of control, quickly interrupts him. Reg and Bondrewd get into a physical altercation. Reg is much more powerful than Bondrewd. When he is held by Bondrewd, the now crazy Reg starts to create a huge fire explosion called the incinerator. Reg turns back to his normal self only after Nanachi interrupts him, pleading with him to stop with a hug because she doesn't want to see him in such a state. However, Reg is quickly thrown to the ground where the second round of combat starts. Reg escapes and tries to make Bondrewd use of all his cartilage. As he threw the cartilage away, he announces that he turned Prushka into a cartridge. Riko, who considered Prushka to be a close friend, is so shocked by this information that she breaks down in tears. In a flashback, Prushka's childhood is shown. Prushka was involved in an accident while being transported through the 5th layer at a very young age. She managed to live, but the curse of the 5th layer was cast upon her, causing severe physical and mental harm. A black whistle named Geira, a subordinate of Bondrewd, made an unsuccessful attempt to heal her. She was currently of no use and was only causing him pain, so he thought about killing her out of the possibility that Bondrewd himself might approach her. She received a bear hug from Bondrewd, who introduced her as Prushka and said she would be his daughter. Prushka's mind remained equally unsteady for a while, hiding by herself in the shadows between the walls. She frequently experienced panic attacks and exhibited hysterical outbursts. One day, Bondrewd gave her a pet and finally found something Prushka loves. Prushka, who had been agitated earlier, calmed down and began to approach the strange animal with a wary curiosity. She also began to show affection for it and gave it the name Mania. As soon as his newborn daughter began to show signs of improvement, Bondrewd exclaimed with joy that the day would be her birthday, marking a fresh beginning for her. After some time, Prushka showed definite progress and began to act almost like a typical girl. She once climbed some stairs by mistake while playing with Mania and was struck by the curse of the 5th layer, causing her to sustain severe wounds. Prushka's mind was able to recover much more quickly than before despite the terrible experience, but her hair was permanently curled. Prushka became more adventurous and was enjoying her time, learning new things, and Bondrewd even getting attached with her. She is asked to welcome new guests and become friends with them. These guests turned out to be Reg, Riko, and Nanachi. She also remembers the final moments when she was being cut into pieces. Her pain merges with Bondrewd's, giving his more strength. Meanwhile, as Reg and Bondrewd fight, Bondrewd punches a hole in the stomach of Reg. Taking this opportunity, Reg uses his incineration while Riko also points Reg's severed arm she retrieved. This ends Bondrewd, who, with his remaining breath, says some sweet words to Nanachi before dying. Nanachi is not convinced by the sweet words and refuses to accept Bondrewd's plea. After Bondrewd's defeat causes him to be split in half, Riko sobs while holding Prushka's cartridge close to her. Nanachi bandages Reg's injuries and confirms that he is not seriously wounded. As the blood keeps spilling out of the cartilage, Mania shows that Prushka is not more. A stone similar to the one required to make a custom white whistle emerges from the cartridge at that precise moment. Nanachi is surprised as to how they became so precious to Prushka that despite her sufferings, she was able to turn into a life-reverberating stone. Riko is somewhat relieved when Nanachi explains that Prushka likely assumed the form of a stone in order to travel with Riko. Riko can wear Prushka's stone around her neck thanks to a harness made by Nanachi. When touched, the stone makes a loud noise. It is demonstrated that Bondrewd's consciousness still exists within his Umbra hands as they arrive to see Riko's group off as they prepare to travel into the 6th layer. Reg asks Nanachi if they should fight once more, but Nanachi says it is okay as he and Bondrewd have reached an understanding. Through a giant eye-like structure, the trio take their last dive. Prushka, now in the form of a life-reverberating store, is traveling with her friends to the 6th layer as she wished for. the movie comes to an end. If you enjoyed this recap, check out the other videos as well and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more amazing recaps and turn on the bell notification for future uploads. Thanks for watching.